Hello guys, welcome to our new video. As you can see in the screen, we are going to create a task board in this video. It will be just like, somewhat similar to the task management system in Jira. As you can see, there are three columns: to do, in progress, and done. Currently, there are three tasks in to do. I can easily drag it to in progress and start doing work on it. And after the work is over, I can drag it to the done section. Similarly, I can do another task in progress, finally done, in progress, finally done. And if I want to, redo one of the tasks, if it is not QA passed, then I can easily drag it here and then maybe these two ones and then again work on it and then do it finish. Okay. So I also have the option to add new task here, new task to be done, something like this. Maybe the priority is medium. See, I have a new task here. I can do it in progress and then finally done. Okay. So this is actually done using only JavaScript. It means we don't have stored these. We haven't stored these tasks actually in any sort of database or other storage. So if I refresh the page, everything will be gone and it will be reset. So this is just for the demo purpose. If you really want to create some tool like this, you need to use backend programming languages and store them in database. But for this video, we are not going to do that. We will just be creating some uh, variables in JavaScript and save all these tasks in JavaScript. If you can do in JavaScript, you will also be able to store it in database and fetch from there. Okay, so let's get started. Let me start from here. I'll create the HTML. I'll call it Jira-Like task board. Let's start with the header. What I will do is I will create a h1, and inside h1 I'll write task board. Let's see. Okay, and let me use this icon. Okay, yeah, this should look good. Okay, it works. So I also need a button here. Let me create a button, not inside h1. Button with class. Let's not give the class. I will style it with the button later on. So new task. Let's see. Okay, so let me create styles CSS for this. I will create style tag, and let's start with all elements: margin 0, padding 0, box sizing, border box, and font family. Maybe let's go with this one, system UI, Apple system, sans safe. Let's see. Okay, this is working. And after this, I can go to body, padding of 20 px, background maybe 1E, 1E, 2E, color would be white. Let's see. Okay, this is good. And mean height should be 100 VH. Now for the header, let's do display flex, justify content space between. Let's see. Yeah, this is what I wanted, right? Okay, we're getting into some shape now. And align items, center, margin bottom probably 20 px, padding also 20 px, background Let's do it 255, 255, 255 with opacity 0.1. Yeah, this looks good. So I will have to provide some border radius to make it look good. Maybe backdrop filter, blur 10px. Okay, this is nice. That's almost similar now. Now for the button. Oh, before button, let me go through the H1, header H1. Maybe font size of 24px. Okay, and followed by font weight 600. Should work fine. Okay, this is working good. Now let me go to the button, right? So I need to style my button. Padding of 12px, 24px, border none. Let's see. Okay, and probably I will need more thing here. Background could be 7.3, 7c, 3a, et. Let's see if this works. Yeah, this works. Color should be white. Font size could be 14px. Okay, and then what next? Cursor should be pointer. Font weight could be 500. Yeah. Border radius is not working. Let me see. Oh, I have not provided border radius. Border radius 8px. Yeah, this is good now. So let me add hover effect to it. Button hover. Maybe I'll change the background to 6D, 28, D9. Yeah, this is good. And maybe I will translate in Y direction only by 1px. Okay, this is good, but I need to make it smooth. So let me add transition here. All 0.2 seconds is, yeah, this is good. Okay, so we are done with the header section. Now let's move on to these 3 columns, okay? So for these 3 columns, we will need to create some HTML, right? Let me go to this section and let me add some more HTML. So I'll call it the board. Inside board, I'll have class column, and I need to have 3 columns. The first one would be to do, second one would be progress, and the last one will be done. So I need to add some CSS, right? So for the board, what I will be doing is, let me add CSS for board. It's a class, display, grid, grid template, columns, repeat, auto fit, min max, 300px, 1fr. Let's see. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Okay, let me add more thing here. Gap of 20px, margin top of 20px. Okay, this is good. So let me do for the column, and it will have background of let's go with 255. 255, 255 with opacity 0.1. Yeah, something like this. And I will add some more here. Border radius of 12 px, padding of 16 px. Let's see. Yeah, looks good. What else? Maybe mean height could be around 400 px. Yeah, this is good. Border 2 px, 2 px, solid, transparent. So why I need to provide border, you will know it when I add the drag effect. So let me go through the HTML first. So for the to-do list, I'll need to create each item, right? But let me create those items through JavaScript, okay? Because I'll need JavaScript to do these things. So column header would be to do. I'll name it ID as to do. Okay. So I'll need to replicate the same thing over here. So it's not to do, it's in progress. And this one is done. So this will be in progress and this will be done. Yeah. Okay. So let me add CSS for this column header. So what I need to add for column header, maybe font size 16 px, font weight 600. Let's see. Okay. And followed by margin bottom could be probably 16 px. Padding bottom would be around 8 px. Color could be 255, 255, 255 with an opacity of 0.9. Is it working? Yeah, it's working fine. So next up, maybe I'll provide border bottom as well. 2px solid, the same thing, but with an opacity of 0.1. Okay, looks good. Yeah, fine. So now we need to add this HTML, but I'm gonna add it through JavaScript, not here. All right. Yeah, this is good. Now let's move on to the JavaScript. Okay. So for the JavaScript, let me create the script tag. Let me start with the list of tasks. Okay, so I'll create a variable, global variable called tasks. It will be an array with multiple objects in it. So ID could be 1, title could be, let me format it properly so that it will be easier to understand. So title, maybe status, and the priority. Okay, this should be enough. So for the ID one, maybe implement login feature. Status would be to do. Priority could be high. Let me add a few more tasks. Let me add 3 for each category. Okay, one is high, one is medium, and one is low. So then second and third task. For the second task, let me name it as fix navigation bug. All right. For the third task, I'll call it update documentation. So I have 3 tasks right now, and all are in to do. So what I can do now is I'll render all these tasks. Okay. So render tasks. I'll create a function. Let me select the element, get element by ID. I will start with to do dot inner HTML equals class equals column header to do. So if I add it from here, I may not need to add here. Let's see. Let me call this function vendor tasks, and let's see. Yeah, this comes automatically. So what I will do, I will remove these things from here. Okay, I won't see it because I have not called it yet. What I will do is I'll create all 3 ones. Okay, this one is for in progress. It will be in progress. And finally, the done task. Let's see. Yeah, all 3 are working now. Now I need to populate all these to-do tasks. So I have the tasks here. Let me filter them first because I only need to-do tasks here. So I will filter it with task t.status equals to do. That map create task element dot join. All right. So I have filtered the tasks with those who have the status of to do and map them to this function, right? So I need to create this function first. Create task element, and it will accept a parameter task. So I will return some HTML here. Class equals task. Maybe draggable equals true because I will be dragging it afterwards. So let me first create a simple HTML. Okay. So this is the task. We'll be closing here, and inside task we'll have task header. And it will contain a span with class task title, maybe span, and the title would be task dot id. Oh, not id, this is the title, right? So we'll have a button with class equals delete button. I may want to delete the task as well, so it will be like this. Okay, let's check with this thing. Is there some error? I don't think so. Let me see. I created the task element. That's fine. And what am I missing here? I'm calling render tasks. That's good. Render task. And I'm filtering with this function. Okay, that's good. And join them with an int string. Okay, I need to append that to do list, right? So I will do append here. Let's see. Yeah, this is working now. Okay, so maybe I need to add some more thing here. What I'm going to add is the button is fine. So I'll add the priority thing here. Class equals priority badge. Span, and the priority would be, okay, let me do one thing here. Dollar task dot priority dot character at 0 index dot to uppercase plus task dot priority dot slash 1. Okay, let's see. Oh, there's some issue here. So it's not the simple bracket, it should be curly bracket. And I may not need this. Let's see. Oh, there's some error. This is a task. There's still some error. Task dot priority dot character at 0 index to uppercase plus task dot priority dot slice 1. Maybe this is not working. Let's see. Character at is not a function. Okay, let's go with the normal priority. Okay, this is working. So what I can do is I can append priority to here. Okay, with space. Yeah, I can make it to uppercase. This should be fine, I guess. So I may not need to add priority. This is good. Yeah, this is good. I don't need to say priority every time. Okay. So I'm done with this thing. So I need to design this task. Okay, now. So for task, what I will do is I have the class here, right? I have the class here. Let me add another class here. Priority test task dot priority. In order to change the color, I'm going to add those classes. Okay, this is fine now. Now let me create the CSS for this. I need to add more CSS here. So I will start with task. Background would be to the same thing here, but with the opacity of 0.5. Okay, and I will need to provide some padding, 16px, border radius 8px, margin bottom 12px. Okay, looks good. And maybe box shadow 2px, 4px, 0.0.0, opacity of 0.1. Okay, this looks good. Cursor move because I'll be dragging it afterwards. So border could be 1px solid 255 with opacity of 0.1. Yeah. Okay, this is good. Let me add hover effect to it. Task hovered. I'll change the box shadow 0, 4px, 8px with 0.0.0 and 0.2. I'll also change the background here. It could be the same thing. with opacity maybe even less, 0.8. Okay, this is looking good. Let me add transform also. So transform could be translate y minus 2px. Yeah, but I need to make it smooth, and I will add transition here. I will go with all 0.2 seconds is. Yeah, this is looking nice. Okay, we're done with the task. Now let's move on to task header. Display flex, justify content, space between, margin button 8px, align items, etc. Yeah. So let me move into task title. Onto it 500. Color could be the same thing with an opacity of 0.9. Okay, this is good. Now for the delete button. Do I have the class here? For the delete button, yes, I do. Then background could be EF4444, padding 4px and 8px, font size 16px. Nice. Nice looking. Now then, for the delete button hover effect, I'll just change the background here with this one. Yeah, it's good. Now, after delete button, what I need to do is for the priority badge. Display inline block, padding 4px, 8px, border radius 4px, font size 12px. Let's see. Okay, and onto it 500, margin top 8px. Okay, now I need to add background color. So for background color, I'll have to give it for 3 different priorities. One is high, medium, and low. So for high, background color would be somewhere around 239, 68 with an opacity of 0.2. Okay, for the high, and I'll need to change the color to this one. Okay, high is done. For medium, let me copy this thing. For medium, I'll go with 245, 158, 11. Color would be F5, 9E, 0B. This one is for the medium, and for the low, this should be low. This could be on the higher side. This could be somewhere around 94, and I'll change the color as well. 22, C5, 5E. Look, this is looking very nice now. Yeah. Okay. So what if I want to populate the task in progress as well? Let's do it. I'll just copy this thing and paste it here. For this also, let's see. See, this is good. But what I need to correct here is I need to filter it with in progress, right? Because this is the column for the task in progress. in progress. For this one, I will do done. Let's see, it should be empty now. Okay, because there are no tasks in progress and done. What if I change this task to in progress? See, this is in progress. Cool, this is working great. Okay. Now what? Now I need to enable the drag drop feature, right? So for that one, let me do it on the last. Let me create a function on drag start. It will be event followed by task ID. Event dot data transfer dot remove dragging. Oh, not remove dragging. Transfer that set data text plain. It should be task ID. I need to get the task ID and then add the class. Event dot target dot class list dot add dragging, because I have started the dragging, right? Okay. Oh no. So I just created the function, but I have not called it from anywhere. If you can see here, I can drag it. You know why? Because I have the drag event registered here, right? So what I need to do, I need to register my events here. So for the task element, I'll say draggable equals true, on drag start equals on drag start. Okay. And on drag end, I'll need both of these. On drag end equals on drag end. Cool. So I need to pass parameters here. So this should be in lowercase. On drag start, I'll pass event and then task dot id. For drag end, I'll pass the event. So I need drag end as well to have one parameter. Okay. So for the drag end, I'll first remove the class list dot remove dragging, and then document dot query selector all column for each column edge column dot class list dot remove drag over. Let's see now. Yeah, I can drag it. On drag in is not defined. Let's see. Okay, this should be end, not the start. Now I can drag it, but there is error here. Transfer. I made mistake in the spelling. Transfer. Let's see. Yeah, I can drag it, but I have not created the drop event, right? So let me create those things. I'll create on drag over. On drag over, it will have event as parameter, right? So where am I gonna drag over it? So I need to register my event there, and it should be on the column element, right? So for this column, it should have two things: on drag over equals something, on drop equals something. On drag over means I'm about to drop something here, so I'll call on drag over with parameter event. On drop means I already dropped it, dropped any something here. So on drop event, this is to do. Yeah, so I can copy it and use it in other columns as well. Everything is fine. This should be in progress and this should be done. Let's see. Okay, I have not defined the function yet, so I need to write the code inside the function. So this one is on drag over. So let me prevent default behavior first. Default, and then let me get the column equals event dot target dot closest column. If column, then what I'll do, column dot class list dot add drag over, so that I can add much more custom CSS to it. So for on drop, it will be event and status of the task. I'll do event dot prevent default, and then I'll get the task ID equals, I may need to parse it into int, event dot data transfer dot get data text plain. This is the task ID. Now I need the column. Column equals event dot target dot closest column. If column, then column dot class list dot remove drag over, because it's already dropped now. Tasks equals tasks dot map task as task dot id equals task id, then task status equals status, or it's just the task. So after doing it, I'll re-render the tasks. Let's see. Okay, there's some error here. The error is in here. Let me check. Oh, I forgot one more dot. There's an error still. So this task ID is not defined. Oh, it's not task ID, it's task ID. Yeah, see, this is great. Right, this is working perfect. Okay, so I can easily move the task in different status easily, right? So this is cool. Now the feature that is remaining is I need to add a new task. Okay, so for the new task, what I'll do, I'll create a form. So for the form, I need to write some HTML, right? So let me do it. For the form, I'll create it under the header section. So it will be id equals add task form class add task form, and inside this div, I'll create a form row. Okay, it will have input type equals text. I don't need the name, so I'll give it ID of task title. Placeholder equals what needs to be done. And I'll have select box with ID equals task priority. It will have options like low. Let me replicate it. Medium and high. Right. And I'll need a button. Button add task. And I'll need to add some event here. On click equals add task. Okay, that's it. Yeah. Now I need to design this one. So let me go through the CSS. Then, so let's start with the form row. Display plex, gap of 10 px, margin button 10 px. Okay. So for the input and select, padding of 12 px, border 1 px, solid 255, 255, then opacity of 0.2, border radius 8 px, font size 14 px, background of 255, 255 with an opacity of 0.05, color of white. Yeah, this is great. Now I need to add some more thing here. So for the input placeholder, I can change the color here with 255, 255 and opacity of 0.5. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, I need to make it a bit wide in its width. Okay, so what I can do flex 1. So for the input, I can copy this one, flex 1. Yeah, good. This is great. Okay, so but I need to, I don't need to show the form by default. It will be shown only when I click this button, right? Like as you can see here. So, but it is showing by default, which I do not want at all. Let me finish with the CSS first. So for this select, I will do mean width of 120 px. Let's see. Yeah. Let me check if everything is working fine. For the form row, add task form. So I may need to add something for the add task form. Add task form. Let me add background 255, 255 with an opacity of 0.1, padding 20 px, border radius 12 px, margin bottom 20 px, backdrop filter 10 px, border 1 px, solid 255, 255 with an opacity of 0.1. Let's see. Okay, this is cool now. So let me do one thing now. I will make it hidden by default. Style equals display none. All right. So for this button, I'll have to add some event here. So on click of this function, I will do on click toggle form, right? So I need to define the toggle form uh, function in my JavaScript. Function toggle form. So let me catch the form first. Form equals document dot get element by ID, and I add task form dot style dot display equals, if it is none make it block, and if it is block make it none. Form dot style dot display equals none. So if it is none, make it block, else make it none. Let's see. Yeah, this is great. Okay, so now I need to add this function. And this function I already added here in the HTML. Add task. I need to create it here. So for the add task event, what I will do, I will check the title document dot get element by ID task title dot value. Similarly, I will get the priority as well. And this is not task title should be like this. Yeah. And for task priority dot value. So I do have the title and priority. If title dot trim, then task would become something like ID. Let me use date for the ID. Date dot now. Title would be title. Priority would be priority. And status would be to do by default. Yeah, this is good. Then let's push tasks that push this present task, and then document dot get element by ID task title dot value equals blank. Similarly, okay, I don't need to do it for the select box, but what I need to do is I need to render tasks now and then hide the form. Let's see. New task just created with the priority low. Yeah, I can add more tasks. Yet another high priority. Let me add a high priority task. Yeah, so I can use it in progress and then finally make it done. Good. So this should be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. uh, I've called this tool as a Jira-like dashboard, but you need to be sure that this is not close to Jira, because Jira is a very efficient and very useful tool. This is just a basic version of task management, and I've not even saved it in database. So if I refresh it, every changes would be gone, and this is the default that I set from the JavaScript. So if you want to move forward in this for this project, you can go ahead and use any choices of your backend languages and save those tasks in database, so that even if you refresh the page, you will get the latest updates. Okay, so I have provided a link in the video description where you can find all the source code here. Please subscribe us for more interesting and useful videos like this. This much for today. Cheers, guys.